What if the biggest obstacle between you and English fluency isn't your memory, but your fear? Many students are trapped in a cycle of expensive tutors and boring textbooks that only leave them feeling more exhausted and confused. You sit in a classroom, terrified to open your mouth because you're afraid someone might laugh at your accent or point out a grammar mistake. It's heartbreaking to work so hard, yet feel like you are standing still. But there is a hidden path to confidence that doesn't involve any stress. It's the power of reading for 30 minutes every day. Imagine replacing that classroom anxiety with a quiet, peaceful habit that actually works. When you pick up a simple book, you enter a safe place. In this space, there is no teacher waiting to correct you with a red pen, and no classmates watching you struggle. It's just you and the language growing together in silence. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this 30-minute window is the magic number for your brain to start thinking in English naturally. Stay with me until the very end, because I will reveal how this small habit builds a foundation that no grammar class can match, even if you are a complete beginner. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our community to receive the best strategies to overcome your fears, and finally make English feel like a friend, not a burden. Let's start this journey together. You might wonder why we focus on books instead of jumping straight into conversation. Many learners feel an urgent pressure to talk immediately, but often their minds aren't quite ready for that specific output. Think of it like a professional chef who tastes 1,000 dishes before ever attempting to create their own masterpiece. Reading acts as that essential tasting phase for your brain, preparing it for future success by building a mental library. It provides a constant stream of correct sentence structures and natural expressions, allowing your subconscious to map out the language landscape silently and effectively. While a traditional grammar textbook can feel like a cold, complex manual for a machine you don't yet understand, an engaging story is like a friendly guide leading you through a new city. In this relaxed state, you aren't fighting against rigid rules or confusing tables. Instead, you are following a narrative thread that pulls you forward with curiosity. This sense of wonder keeps your cognitive doors wide open, making it much easier for new vocabulary to stick naturally compared to forced memorization. By providing this high-quality input first, you are essentially stocking your mental warehouse with every tool you will need for later. When the time finally comes to speak, you won't be struggling because the right patterns are already waiting in your memory. Ultimately, feeding your mind with stories today is what gives you the confident voice to speak tomorrow. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to learn effortlessly while others burn out after just a few weeks of intense study? The secret lies in a specific time frame: the 30-minute daily habit. This is the ideal duration for your mind to engage deeply, without feeling overwhelmed or exhausted. Think of it like watering a delicate garden. If you give your plants a small cup of water every morning, they thrive and grow strong roots. However, if you ignore them all week and then pour a whole bucket over them on Sunday, you might actually cause more harm than good. Learning English follows this exact same logic. Regularity holds far more value than sheer force or long, grueling sessions. Many of us suffer from weekend warrior syndrome, trying to cram 5 hours of study into a single day off, only to feel drained and frustrated the next morning. By committing to just a half-hour window, perhaps during your commute, or while enjoying your afternoon tea, you keep the English engine in your brain running smoothly. This prevents the language from feeling like a heavy school subject and helps it transition into a natural part of your daily identity. I know the deep guilt of seeing your textbooks gather dust because you didn't have enough time to study. If you are tired of the stressful all or nothing cycle that always leaves you feeling like a failure, type "I choose 30 minutes" in the comments below to commit to this simpler, more effective path. By choosing the steady rhythm of daily practice, you are building a bridge to fluency that will never collapse under the weight of burnout. Imagine the weight lifting off your shoulders when you realize you don't have to be a walking dictionary to enjoy a good book. I've seen so many of us get paralyzed by a single difficult word, stopping our flow to look it up, which only leads to frustration. Instead, I want you to focus on the big picture. Think of it like watching a beautiful movie. You don't need to understand every technical detail of the camera work to feel the emotion of the scene. If you grasp the general heart of a short fable or a travel article, you are doing incredibly well. Every time we reach the end of a single page, we should celebrate that victory, because these small milestones are the fuel that keeps our motivation burning. We often fall into the trap of saying, "My English is terrible." But I want us to flip that script together. Start saying, "I am a dedicated learner in progress." This shift in how you view yourself is a hidden superpower. And please, don't worry if you feel like you're moving at a snail's pace compared to others. Just as a hiker observes more detail than a sprinter, reading slowly allows your mind to truly absorb the rhythm of the language. You aren't slow, you are being deep and thorough. By embracing the heart of the story rather than the struggle of the individual word, you transform English from a daunting wall into an open door. While you are immersed in a story, a fascinating transformation is happening deep within your mind without you even realizing it. We often believe that for learning to be real, it must feel like a grueling struggle. But your brain is actually designed to be a master pattern seeker that thrives on subtle repetition. When you read consistently, your subconscious begins to identify how words link together and how sentences are built. Much like how we learn the layout of a new neighborhood, just by walking its streets every afternoon. Instead of forcing yourself to memorize dry, isolated word lists that are easily forgotten, you are observing language in its natural habitat. For instance, if you encounter the word vibrant while reading about a bustling market or a colorful garden, your mind instantly connects the energy and the visuals to that specific sound. You don't need a dictionary to tell you it means full of life, because the context has already painted the picture for you. This is the essence of vocabulary growth. It is organic, deep, and lasting because it is tied to a narrative rather than a flashcard. To help you navigate this journey even more effectively, I highly recommend watching our featured video, Learn English Step by Step at Home. By combining your daily 30-minute reading habit with the practical methods shared in that video, you can improve your skills much faster, from the comfort of your own space. We want to help you stop treating English like a difficult math problem and start experiencing it as a living, breathing part of your life. Trust in this silent evolution, because your brain is far more capable of capturing the spirit of a language than any list of rules could ever be. Progress in a new language often feels like the way we grow taller as children, You don't notice it day by day, but eventually you realize everything looks different. I often see students getting frustrated because they are looking for a massive, overnight transformation. But the most meaningful growth happens in the quiet moments. You might find yourself halfway through a story and suddenly realize you haven't looked at your phone once, or that the constant urge to translate every word into your native language has finally started to fade. This shift is a huge milestone for us. In a world where our attention is constantly pulled by notifications and short videos, dedicating 30 minutes to a single text is like giving your brain a much-needed workout. We are building the mental stamina required to process English, without that exhausting mental middleman that usually translates everything back to your mother tongue. I want you to appreciate these small victories, like when a complex sentence structure suddenly feels right instead of looking like a confusing puzzle. By staying consistent, you are teaching your mind to accept English as a normal, automatic part of your reality. Focusing on the quiet path of gradual improvement is the surest way to reach the destination of total fluency. One of the most profound shifts occurs when the internal translator in your head finally begins to quiet down. Many of us suffer from the exhausting habit of converting every English sentence back into our mother tongue before we can truly grasp it. However, as you immerse yourself in daily reading, this mental middleman starts to lose its power. Imagine you see a sign that says, "Fresh coffee." You don't need to translate those words anymore, because the meaning hits you instantly, just like seeing a red light at a traffic intersection. This is the beginning of thinking directly in English. Your brain stops treating the language like a code to be cracked and starts treating it like a direct reflection of reality. Furthermore, this habit acts as a secret training ground for your ears. It might seem strange that looking at words helps you hear them better, but it's absolutely true. When you've encountered a common phrase like, "I'll get back to you soon," multiple times in different stories, your mind builds a strong blueprint of that structure. When someone speaks it aloud later, even if they talk quickly, your brain recognizes the pattern instantly because it's already familiar with the shape of the sentence. You aren't just reading, you are building a database of sounds and structures that make listening feel much less like a struggle. Have you ever noticed a brief moment where an English phrase just clicked for you, without any mental effort at all? By nourishing your mind with these written patterns, you are silently preparing your ears to catch the music of the language in every future conversation. Selecting the right content is the fuel that keeps your learning engine running smoothly. I've noticed that many students fail because they try to climb a mountain before they can even walk. The first rule we must follow is simple. Your material must be genuinely fascinating to you. If you are bored by a text, your mind will naturally wander, making progress feel like a chore. For instance, instead of forcing yourself through a dense economic report, you might choose a simple blog post about a hobby you love, such as gardening or photography. Curiosity is a superpower that makes focus feel effortless. The second rule involves finding your sweet spot regarding difficulty. You should aim to understand roughly 80 to 90% of the words on each page. If you are reading a story about a lost traveler and you grasp the main events without needing a dictionary every 10 seconds, you are exactly where you need to be. Graded readers or basic news summaries are fantastic tools because they provide clear, natural language without the overwhelm of complex novels. Remember, our goal isn't to struggle through a test. It's to build a friendly, daily relationship with the language. Finding that perfect balance between enjoyment and ease is the secret to making English a permanent part of your world. Breaking the habit of pausing every few seconds to analyze a difficult term is perhaps the hardest part of this journey. We often feel a strange guilt if we don't document every unfamiliar expression, but I want us to focus on the flow of the story instead. When you encounter a word like tranquil while reading about a quiet park, simply check its meaning quickly and then keep moving. You don't need to archive every discovery in a cluttered notebook or force yourself into a boring memorization session. By staying immersed in the narrative, you are allowing your brain to collect these patterns in a silent, hidden database. I truly believe that we are not just collecting words, we are gathering the essential building blocks for our future conversations. These structures sit quietly in your subconscious, waiting for the precise moment you will need them. Later, when you want to describe a peaceful experience, that word tranquil will likely surface naturally because you saw it living in a real context, not on a sterile word list. This process slowly erases the frustrating need to translate from your mother tongue. You are preparing your mind to speak with ease by simply being a patient and consistent reader today. Every page you turn without getting stuck is a silent deposit into the bank of your future fluency. Many of us feel like we are fighting a losing battle with complex grammar rules, but there's a much kinder way to master them. Instead of memorizing dry academic tables that we quickly forget, reading allows us to absorb the structure of English naturally through context. Think about how you recognize a familiar song. You don't need to read the sheet music to know if a note is played wrong. Your brain develops a similar inner ear for language by seeing correct sentences over and over in your 30-minute daily habit. You start to feel what is right rather than calculating it. I truly believe that when we stop treating grammar as an enemy to be defeated and start seeing it as a tool for storytelling, the fear simply vanishes. To make this transformation last a lifetime, we must protect this habit. I suggest you pick a golden window, a specific time like right after your morning coffee or just before you turn off the lights at night. Make your reading space a sanctuary where English feels like a guest, not a chore. Even on those days when you feel exhausted, I want us to remember that even a few minutes of engagement is better than none. We are building a new identity together. You are no longer just a struggling student, you are becoming a confident English reader. If you are tired of feeling stuck while everyone else seems to move forward, don't let another day slip away in frustration. Subscribe to our channel right now to ensure you never lose this momentum. We are dedicated to helping you turn your English from a source of pain into your greatest strength. By committing to this small daily ritual, you are finally giving yourself permission to succeed on your own terms.